defense attorney, former assistant U.S. attorney Alex Little. Alex, appreciate your insights as always. From Roger Stone last night, and he said this a few other times, that this indictment is as thin as it could be. You've read it. You've read a lot of other indictments. Agree?
Yeah. No, Roger Stone is a professional liar. What he is doing is continuing to lie. That is what he did to Congress. That is what the indictment clearly shows he's done repeatedly throughout the special counsel investigation. His word is thin. It's not the indictment. The indictment has fact after fact after fact to back up that what he said was untrue.
Yeah, well, he does have histories of, shall we say, different versions of the truth in his memory. Still, and Rudy Giuliani made this point, as did a number of the president's confidants, advisors, and supporters. Yeah. It's still in this indictment. You say it laid out a lot of facts. None of those facts allege some type of involvement between or connection between the Trump campaign and the Russian government.
Well, that's not entirely true. I think you have to look at what the special counsel is doing. In every indictment, it's a different puzzle piece. He's not put sort of a global indictment together. But if you look at the way these cases have come together, there's clearly been connections that he's put forward about the Russian government, the hacking of the emails, and getting those emails to WikiLeaks. And now this indictment has to do with Roger Stone's connection to WikiLeaks and getting those to the campaign. So you put the pieces together. They may not be in the single indictment, but you put the indictments together, and that circle's closing in.
All right, so this may be one of the things you're talking about. After the July 22nd, 2016 release of stolen DNC emails by Organization One, that's referring to WikiLeaks, a senior Trump campaign official was directed to contact Stone about any additional releases and other damaging information Organization One had regarding the Clinton campaign. Stone thereafter told the Trump campaign about potential future releases of damaging material by Organization One. Here's Roger Stone responding.
There are several things in here in the indictment that are simply not true. Since it never happened, it appears to me that they have composed testimony for someone. Perhaps Rick Gates, perhaps Steve Bannon, perhaps someone is bearing false witness against me.
All right, thoughts? What does the special counsel have that Stone may or may not know about?
Well, the special counsel probably has some documentary evidence. He has some testimony of cooperating witnesses. I mean, when you hear a defendant say things like that, I don't think anybody who has any credibility can believe someone in that situation.
Well, a good attorney can argue both sides of any case. Your reputation precedes you. What's your argument on the other side of this if you were representing Stone?
You know, Leland, I'm not going to do that. I think a good attorney also looks at the facts. And here, no credible defense attorney is going to tell Roger Stone that he has a chance of acquittal.
Does his, if he has no chance of acquittal, he says he's not going to cooperate. Yeah. Does his PR campaign, for lack of a better term, whether it's on this network or others, make sense to you?
Yes, he's trying to get a pardon from the president. This is not about what actually is against the law. It's about what he can get away with and what the president's going to let him get away with.
All right, so
he's seen time and again in this situation.
Yeah, Stone says he hasn't at least talked to the president about that.
Well, the president tweeted about him, so it's absurd to say that they're not communicating. They're communicating through the public. He goes on the television station on the show the president watches, and the president tweets, you know, stay strong. That's what's happening right here, and I think it would be a disservice to the public to not address the facts here. They're very clear evidence that Roger Stone has lied to Congress, has misled the special counsel, and his only option here is to get the president to pardon him.
All right, well, or cop a plea, which so far he says he's not going to do. Right. I guess everybody says they're innocent and not going to cop a plea until they do.
Absolutely.
This also from the indictment. In this, we kind of wonder how often this happens in criminal cases. Maybe a lot. You can shed some light on this. On or about April 9th, 2016, Stone wrote in an email to Person 2, one of his alleged contacts, who was about to testify, "You are a rat, a stoolie, prepare to die, expletive." The special counsel deleted that. We didn't. And then there was also some references to his dog. Stone taking a page out of Roy Cohn's book here.
Yeah, it's pretty classic witness intimidation, and you do see that sort of language in indictments like this. You know, this is not the only case.
Is the law as plain text as this? If you send somebody that kind of message, is it a plain text reading, that's intimidation? Do you have to prove intent? Do you have to prove anything else?
You would have to prove intent. Those crimes all require intent. But here, I suspect the special counsel will be able to build that case to the jury that when you send a text like that, in the circumstances you do, you're certainly intending that person to change their testimony.
All right. Well, to your point, if it gets to a jury, you'd said if you were his attorney, you'd advise otherwise. Alex, good having you as always. Appreciate your insights.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kristen?
U.S.